make my living off the evening news, expat vloggers, and living in the Philippines. Just give me something I can use. People love it when you lose. They love dirty laundry. Well, I could have been on TikTok, but I wound up YouTube here. I just have to edit well and search all day. Send me an email or call, come and whisper in my ear. Give us dirty laundry. Kick 'em when they're up, kick 'em when they're down. Kick 'em when they're up, kick 'em when they're down. Doesn't matter what island you're on. Philippines should have been heaven, but you ended up on my page. Should have stayed off YouTube and just played on the beach instead. We got the age gap couple, the odd couple, broke expats. Who comes on at 5? They can tell you about how they loves it with a gleam in their eyes. It's interesting when people lie. Give us dirty laundry. Can we film the operation? Is political or not? You know the boys in the newsroom gotta run in there. Get the widow on the set. We need dirty laundry. You don't really need to find out what's going on in Angeles City. You don't really want to know just how far it's gone. Just leave well enough alone. Eat your dirty laundry. We can dance and sing. When it's said and done, we haven't told you a thing. We all know that expats are king. Give us dirty laundry. Kick 'em when they're up, kick 'em when they're down. Kick 'em when they're up, kick 'em when they're down. Doesn't matter what island you're on. Philippines should have been heaven, but you...
Hey, good morning. Look who I brought with me today
Good morning, guys. How you guys doing today?
to talk smack.
It's a beautiful Saturday. I think.
You think?
I'm not sure.
Not sure yet.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
God save the Philippine.
God save America. Whoever knows what's really going on. Okay, guys. Today we're going to do a American Vloggers Widows update, and I want to do an update on the Orange Kite group. Looks like Paul Old Dog New Tricks released a video yesterday saying, let me talk about him. And it's like, he already talked about him before. It was quite obvious who the company was, but he went through and gave some more facts about what was going on. And it still just blows my mind because it still seems, in my opinion, that they really, I get they did their due diligence, but the one guy gave out $345,000 US to have that house built, and he's lost the money. And so, although he's got an attorney, and supposedly there's a like they're talking about doing a group lawsuit. What was it? They were talking class action.
But a class action lawsuit is only as good as
down. I can't have her up here. The fur will be in my eyes. She's got the worst shedding. Okay, what about class action? They're never going to get their money. That guy done squirreled that money away somewhere. So, yeah, when you do that, the fur goes up. So you can't down cookie. So today we will go through and we'll be talking about Jen Thorton. We're going to talk about Ralph Manek, I don't know how the guy's name's pronounced. It is the American whose life was terminated in the Philippines, in Mindanao, based on going to a resort and taking X amount of money out. And there was a robbery and he lost his life to that. So it looks like his husband is Filipino, and I guess some people miss that. I don't know where the surprise is in that, because there seems to be people that are like, oh, it's like his life meant less or something because he was gay. Because we've been getting a lot of comments and reading him on Facebook, and they're like, oh, the American was gay. And I'm like,
It's irrelevant.
It surely is. And although we mentioned it, it was just because they said that it was his partner, and then the news put that the gentleman was married, and so everybody was like, oh, he came down here to be with his boy and stuff, hiding from his wife. No, he was married to the Filipino, and the Filipino has been living in the United States. And there seems to be a chismus going around, and that we mentioned the last time that the gentleman didn't seem to have a whole lot of feelings during his interviews, and that some people are saying it was a setup, and so there's a bunch going on. So that'll be a topic today. Just remember, this is an open discussion. And then the other one would be Carisha Eastman, Elliot Eastman's little wife, has opened up a new Facebook account, and she was doing live streams, and she said a few words. So we'll let you see her update today. You know who's going to become a widow?
Why?
Your dog.
What about him? It's Saturday.
Right. Well, what's Saturday got to do with it?
Means a lot of people are out.
There's people out every day here in the Philippines.
Well, more on the weekend.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. Today is a discussion, a group discussion. Everything is on the table within the actual topic. And if you guys aren't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. So
Subscribe, guys. Makes Heidi happy.
make me happy if you wake up and drink some coffee or a drink or something.
Huh? What coffee?
I'm not making your coffee this morning. You're on your own. You decided on other liquid refreshments.
Doesn't sound right, but okay.
You got green lemonade over there. You got your green concoction.
That's not lemonade. That's ephemer.
I'm going to ephemer you up if you don't get moving and wake up.
I miss ephemer and Zima. But anyway.
You would be a Zima dude, wouldn't you?
Yes.
I'm a Barton James person myself.
Oh, really? So you're saying Bartles and James is better than Zima?
Oh, hell yeah. That's like Barton James. Like that, you know.
Oh, yeah?
That spoke class back in the 80s, and you sucking on a Zima just said everything about you there, Soda Pop.
Has anybody ever tried, like, Johnny Walker Yellow? Just so you guys know, it's very popular here.
What is that, a Johnny Walker bottle where somebody goes to the bathroom in it or puts gas in it?
Right?
I don't know. I'm asking a question. There is a Johnny Walker Yellow?
From what I've heard, it's a citrus Johnny Walker. Don't quote me on that. That's what I've heard.
I pass. I'm too old for the alcohol situation myself.
Nobody's too old for alcohol.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm going to spend it on a cheesecake, not alcohol. That's my choice.
Oh, that's true. I
Or
guess.
putting in the savings account, but I just...
Oh my gosh. You guys, how's Cheesecake Factory? Remember that place? What do you mean?
I got to show you something later. I found a place here that is our next outing, and it's called, I believe it's called Pampanga Croissant, and we're going. Here's the thing. You ought to see the prices on their Valentine's cakes. They minimally, I think, start at $40 US for one that's at Kamori's. They started at $40 US up to like 60 or 80. I'm like, no way. I'm not paying that price in this town. That better be good. And I'm sure I would be disappointed.
Yeah.
$80? That's set up for disappointment. I think it's at 4,000 pesos for a 10-inch cake or something.
Yeah.
You would pay that price here?
I don't know. I'd probably go to a buffet. A two-person Valentine's romantic buffet is at $7.99 pesos.
No, there's some shops here that are just astronomical, and it just blows my mind because they do like different levels of flowers to go with it, and it's almost at $200 US for the flowers, the bouquet, and like the cake and stuff. I'm like, yeah, $200 for what? And who's gonna? But then again, Valentine's they go all out on here, so yeah.
Yeah, just remember, guys. Again, if you come Valentine's Day, if by chance you get into a pinch, just stop by at your local cemetery and pick up some flowers for your loved one.
You're batting at 0 today, including the audio.
Batting at 0.
Yes.
I'm giving guys tips how to get flowers for the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably all lilies, but I mean,
You want to give them a tip? Tell them what's flammable, and send them a Zippo in the mail.
right?
Next.
Yes, Mommy, happy thumbs up. Good day, beautiful people. Ted Denkins. Where are the widows? There you go.
They're all here. We got a group of, let's see, how many in the last? We had Elliot Eastman, and then his little bride out there in Mindanao,
Krishna.
which she's renamed her. She's
Krishna.
got another account, so that probably makes about 8 accounts that she has. Then we have Mark Thornton and Jen Thornton. Speaking of which, being he's opened us up on this topic, let's bring in our Jen, our widow here. All right, I want to let you know this is most recently, okay? And let me see, can we remove ourselves out? I guess that makes sense. You guys might not be able to hear us. Hey, excuse me. It's better than having no audio at all and delaying our live stream by 10 minutes, but you're forgiven. But you're looking at me like it's a crime right now.
I'm not the one who changed the setting.
I didn't change the settings. Why didn't you check them? You were staring at it. Who you placing blame on? Don't make me snatch your wig off. Here, let me touch your tatas.
No.
I already did. Too late. I already offended you 3 times this morning. Okay. How about that couch? Why don't you stand up on the couch?
No.
He knows what that means. Anyways, couch. All right. So here's Miss Jen Thornton hanging out with her friends. It was said during the situation after Mark had passed away, which, by the way, as of right now, it's not even been 60 days. Like, she was out celebrating New Year's.
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's under 60 days, and there is this gentleman, like, she's got all kinds of tracking on Facebook where it shows she's been going out and everything, hanging out with this group of people they said will more than likely produce her next husband. Matter of fact, there's bets on it right now. I'm just saying, I'm just repeating what's out there, guys, and what's actually in the market, what's on the market, Reddit. All of this comes from multiple sources, so bite me on any of it. This is a major production here. So there she is down there in the black dress, hanging out, making poses. This is most recently. I'm go ahead and hit let's go through and see the rest of it. No, play, there's more. Come on, wake up, man, wake up. Wake up. All right, pause. All right, so there is the Miss Half Percenter herself there in the blue and gold dress. That seems to be the godchild of her, or godmother, the one in blue and gold there. But there's Jen, I don't know if I'm pointing in the right direction. Jen and her sister there on the end. There she is in a nice crop. Did she wear that crop top during one of the funerals? During her funeral or the funeral? Sorry, I gotta wake up.
Okay, well, for those of you who are wondering, crop tops are not actually appropriate for anything other than clubbing, really. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, there's 2 of them wearing them there. Actually, 3. The one in red, if she sits up, I'm sure her belly button.
Well,
I'm
I'm saying that they look like they're going to go out in the club. This is fine, but what I'm saying is,
yeah,
funerals, that that kind of stuff. Date maybe, but that's kind of like borderline because that's kind of like I like them skeezy, but not like that.
This must be the wives' club that we were told about in Dumageddon that all go to the mall together while their husbands hang out at whoever's house. But they said this is the first wives' club here, and that's where her husband will be produced. Dude. And up and coming photos that I have here, there's the first guys' club. I'll pass on any of them.
Over there.
Huh?
Stay over there.
I don't know. Really don't care. Go ahead. All right. So here's little Rogan. He just had his, I guess he was christened, but I was curious to why it just says Rogan Ralph on it. I didn't know where his last name is on the poster. But this was recent, by the way. Yeah, you can just run it through. Looking Filipino. There's those eyes. Ah, there's the other half percenter. They're holding his godson. And the first club of men. That's just showing that he passed away less than 2 months ago, and she's making her moves. But she looks happy, and she got her son christened. So that's what I got, is that she's on the actual move. So
yeah. Now, there's nothing wrong with moving on. Honestly, it's like Second Wind says. I hope my wife moves on if I die. Nonsense, sitting at home grieving. But there's something called too soon. You know, with all due respect to anybody, whether
yeah, because some of the photos found were right away, like New Year's. She was at a party and doing, which again, I get it, but there's still a
well, that's
grieving
different. That's
period.
what I'm saying is it's. I mean, you can go to functions, but moving on again, with all due respect, Second Wind. I hope my wife moves on if I die. I get
I
that,
already moved on.
but what I'm saying is there is a mourning period for several reasons. It's not just because of what you wish for. Let's say you pass on and it's what you wish for your partner. That's not it. It's unhealthy for the person to move on right away, regardless of how you feel or what your viewpoint is.
Yeah, the word on the street is it doesn't look like she's
It's still
grieving
too
too
soon,
hard.
regardless. Yes.
Yeah, and like she's just hanging out, blah 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 blah. So, but she looks happy, so I'm gonna leave it at that because there's a lot more I could say on the subject. My personal opinion is she's really really moving on. So, but we just leave it at that. So, but just want to let you guys know they got the baby Christianized, and got a little water on his forehead, and that's about it on that one. So, which one you want to go with next, Ricky?
Well, you go with the shortest one first.
I guess that would be Elliot Eastman.
Eastman business here, Wi-Fi.
For those of you wondering, that's the Skylink.
Yeah, so this is the most recent video of Elliot Eastman's wife, and she opened up another Facebook account, and she's been doing lives and leaving new photo shots of herself. It's just her in the photos, and she's doing live streams now through Facebook, and she addresses things. So she'll go on, she's telling you now, which this is sped up, by the way, guys. And the same thing with Elliot stuff, she kind of vlogs the same. So it's kind of where you can't really detect what she's saying, but basically she's going to go through and tell you, hey, I still got the Starlink, and she's going to discuss what happened to the Sorry store. And then she'll go in and address the Chismus, and she's going to go in, which, remember, a lot of y'all think that it was only YouTubers talking. You know, there was a couple dozen. Actually, there was dozens all over the world. People in America, Spain, Canada, they all crawled out of the woodwork to cover this. And that's fine. Everybody's going to cover things these days, especially these days. It doesn't matter if you fart. They're going to be reporting on that stuff if they're getting paid, or that they're trying to gain some sort of fame or whatever it is, their moment of fame, whatever. But she's got to understand that she's probably mostly addressing locals that are judging her. Okay, so there's probably like neighbors that are literally judging her on a daily basis. So
No more Sari Sari store.
No more Sorry store.
so much. Yeah. I don't know. I still don't have news about him, but I wish it's fine. He's still out there, and I wish I still meet him someday.
All right. The name she has on the account, her Facebook, is Hajad Jala. Jala is her maiden name. She already put that out there a while ago. She says, I'm Carisha. I just want a happy life and a relationship with no harm and no bad intentions is what her, and this is new. So she just wrote this. It wasn't like an old account or something. So to me, it sounds like she's looking for a relationship. Happy life and a relationship with no harm, no bad intentions. Thanks. And in here, she has several photos of herself and videos where she's live streaming. I'm still curious about that, I'm telling you. But so yeah, she's showing like where she's morning. Hope you all have a wonderful day. But okay, so yeah, I'm gonna play this through.
Like I don't know how to answer them. I wanna answer them, but I don't know when or where to start. The truth is, I'm traumatized. Even my siblings told me like, so there's so many people making some video about you, but I don't know. I didn't see it. I was trying. I was like, seeing like looking for it, but I was like trying to forget, trying to heal again, but it's hard for me because I see everything. There's no time, there's no limit, there's no day and night. I can see him. Even I close my eyes. Even I close my eyes, I still see him. That's why people just walking and meeting, saying hi, smiling. I smile too, but after that, my smile fades.
No, I mean, I understand that. Again, I mean, these are two contrasts between both women. One of them is going out and one of them isn't. But the issue I have with this particular one, Krishna, again, I'm not picking on her, but I kind of am. Only because for those of you know, she's Muslim, and my issue is one, she never wears a hijab. The only time I see her hijab is what when?
Well, there's on her new page, I see her with it once, but
So that's a picture. It's not even a video.
right. So on her page, it shows her where she is making pose. You just seen the poses on her page.
Right.
That does not look like
Seductive poses somewhat.
the
something
one
like
where
that.
you're laying on your back.
Yeah.
She's pursing her lips and
Correct.
doing all this stuff. I just don't get. It's kind of hard to believe, kind of like Jen Thornton, this whole thing of, oh, my husband situation. And this is just me being honest. I mean, I have a right to my opinion.
It's bad
on
enough
it.
that you're on social media, because as a Muslim person, you really shouldn't be on social media.
Yeah.
Again, this is not coming from me. That's according to the Muslim religion. Okay. But I'm not Muslim. And again, there's nothing wrong with being Muslim. But however, according to the religion, that's something you don't do.
Yeah, so he had asked her to get into social media. She said no. She was on his social media anyways. She was doing TikToks with her and her sisters and all the families that are around. And now it's been a few months for her, or less, probably less than 90 days. And here she is. And it showed TikToks too. So she resumed doing TikToks too. So she's gone through her actual situation. So the next one that we're going to bring up is we've done Thornton Eastman. And stick around, guys, because we're going to discuss that Orange Kite group and how Old Dog had brought in another interviewee. We knew there were a bunch of them, but I had no idea how many and the extent. Kind of knew, but it just seemed like they possibly all followed each other based on, something being done. They were really conned. and stuff. So the next one is going to be the American that had been robbed. And what happened is I will tell you the real quick story about the guy, and the American guy had a Filipino relationship. The Filipino husband moved to the United States in Boston. Now, I can't confirm this, but on his Facebook and social media, it shows he's a pig farmer, the Filipino, and that also he's working in a lechon shop in one of his videos, but it's not a big one. And usually Filipinos don't go off and work for other Filipinos. They usually run their own business. I don't believe he went to a Filipino area and he's working. He could be, but it almost appears that he owns his own shop. Not sure, unconfirmed. But they came on vacation to the area that you're seeing here, which is where he's from. So a lot of people are like, oh, he just got there on vacation, because this happened at 9 o'clock at night, 9:30 at night. We're just giving you some roundabouts. If you guys want to check it out, it's in the news, but right now it's very limited. It's not that they're hiding it, just nobody's going to cover it. It's kind of like when the Korean was kidnapped or the Chinese person. They do limited coverage sometimes based on what's going on. They don't find it, maybe, what do they call that? It's not newsworthy enough, except for the guy was an American. So it's being covered by X amount of outlets right now. So the guy was robbed and received a wound based on the weapon. I have to put it that way. And the area was in Trento. Trento is in Mindanao. You remember? Okay. A Ralph Eugene Manek, 56. The attacker. So this is where things get different, because several news outlets have covered different things. And the husband, he calls himself, he's a YouTuber. So that's why he's listed under the vloggers. Now I said American vloggers, but the guy, it's unconfirmed if the American had a page, but we know that the Filipino husband had a YouTube page. But they're saying the attacker had a helmet on and he was seen early on near the resort or something. And the guy had 50,000 pesos on him. And there's so much. See, I feel uncomfortable saying anymore because there's been so many different stories.
It's questionable what really happened because there's different stories. Correct?
Yeah, each one. So we were told we gave misinformation and misstepped on it, but most of it we had taken direct from the papers. It's not too often where I can say that, hey, I really don't feel comfortable, but I'm still going to cover it. I mean, this is a conversation right now. So as I'm to understand, at one point, being they say a he thing, I can't tell if the husband was carrying the bag, like the Filipino, or if it was the American. And there was 50,000 in there. As I'm to understand, it was withdrawn at night. It wasn't done at the ATM. It was done near the car or something. So in other words, he wasn't approached at the ATM. And so legally, he was married in the United States, part of the LGBTQ community. So let's run this through as we're doing it. Because at the very end, there's some things going on. Done at 9:30 at night. And they're saying it was the Hillview Inn. And 50,000 in cash. Yeah, they said what type of weapon it actually was. There's his nice little poses that were shown just probably 2 weeks ago. And there was statements from the Filipino husband that we read off the last time where basically it sounded like they were having some issues. This is where he said, should I have cried during the investigation to prove that there was nothing wrong? So I'm going to tell you right now, again, it's not us covering the story only, but it's just not other YouTubers. There's his local comrades that are judging him right now. I'm going to tell you once again, the same as her. You better bet the Filipinos are judging hard on this situation right now. It's just not the YouTubers. So those were the statements that he had brought in. Okay. So here's his Facebook page. And this changed since our last live stream. He has now officially uploaded a photo of him and the husband. He was saying that I got it right here.
Who's right?
Okay, so with this photo right here, he said, again, this is just recently put up, there's a lot of judgment behind this two people who choose to be one. We prioritized our life. We choose to be happy, then giving time for some negativity. He didn't want me to share on my social media because he was scared that the reality we are part of the LGBTQIA plus, which that sounds like he's saying the American husband was a little. When I say that line, what do you think of that? He doesn't want me to share on my social media about us because he's scared the reality that we are part of the LGBT. Sounds like he's a little ashamed.
Well,
Or he's worried what people will think.
That's questionable. The reason why I say that is, one, you're hearing it from somebody else, not him.
Well, maybe he wasn't super open on the situation.
Two,
but
he may be in a situation where there's discriminatory against LGBTQ, aka his job, his boss.
Yeah, he was. I think he was a construction supervisor. Yeah.
Correct. So what I'm saying is,
some sort of supervisor.
You guys have to take everything into context. It doesn't mean that. I get it. The surviving member of the family says, "Well, he's trying to hide his LGBT." Well, maybe there's a reason why. Again, whether it's right or wrong, that's not up for us to judge.
And here's another thing. I want to let you know that I've been hearing a lot of people say that it's unacceptable in that area, period. Yes and no. I think the Philippine community is really open on the gays and the lesbians and everything. I would kind of, even in the Muslim territory. Not supposed to be, but probably a lot more understanding than they are in the U.S.
No, they're more lax, as it were. Now, just real quick, are you done on this one?
Just the world of criticism and judgment. It says, to this man, thanks for accepting me behind my flaws and insecurities. So he's addressing his husband at that point.
Right. So again, like I said, it's kind of unfair for. See, that's my issue with is for example, here's this guy basically not necessarily bashing his deceased husband, but he kind of is. It's still disrespectful.
Well, he
should just shut the F up and leave it at that. Why the guy just passed away, and why does he have to even mention that?
Well, within a few hours of him passing away, he said this: I know and I feel that you appreciate my parents and my family. You care about me more than I care about you. How can I start our plans now with you gone? So he's worried about plans. And then he says, I know we have differences. This is less than 5 hours after this incident happened. This was 3-4 in the morning in the Philippines.
That's right. This is
same day of the incident. So
right
to
after
me,
it
this
happened.
plays into
yeah.
And I just want to let you know on a side note, the person that had been covering this that we knew of was Sunshine Shoulders. And he put an article up yesterday or something, and he said, check out this article or something. And it pretty much covered what we were covering. And I don't know if he knew the whole story or what had actually happened. But he said, yeah, I know we have differences. You have your own beliefs and I have mine, but you respect me as I will respect you. You said you're okay, but you didn't mean that. Now you've left me forever. So again, that was a couple hours after the incident. So evidently they were having problems, which will bring in the locals, the Reddit posts, the emails, the comments that are coming in based on a lot of finger pointing towards the husband, the one that survived, the Filipino, because we don't know like if that was really a joint owned business in the United States, if there was assets. He is at the cusp of getting his green card. Like he posted something just, I don't know, recently. And then it was just recent. He posted those photos of him, those, on the internet with his phone. So that there's a lot going on, and nobody's going to be harsher on him than the Filipino community for sure. So he has a pig farm with a large family over there. And right before he came to America recently, he was doing video phone. He was like, "Oh, I'm on my way packing for America," and he was doing a video chat with which appeared to be a lady boy of some sort. So, and they were just talking back and forth. And I'm assuming you said Savannah. So there's a lot. There's a lot going on. Beside,
He's beside.
Okay, so.
But remember that he did get flack from somebody. Actually, a lot of people, not from us. Because he had to defend himself, saying, "Do I have to?" Basically, in I'm paraphrasing here. He's saying like basically, do I have to show that I'm mourning? If I don't show that I'm mourning and I'm sad, I'm not a victim. Basically, I'm paraphrasing here. Point being is there's other people that called him out. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, there's different people deal with tragedies and sadness in different ways. But the way he was prancing around, he's kind of like, "Hey, look at me. I'm on TV."
1 second, guys. This is in Tagalog or not?
What is it? Yeah.
I was just wondering if there's anything new. This is new. That's recent. Oh, unmuted. Oh, we're not muted. Anything? Anything?
Wait.
Okay.
Okay. See that now? Okay, that's a new interview.
Yes, that's a new interview of him.
Here's my issue. In this new interview, that's how he should have been acting.
Correct. So now it's been 5 days. It's been 5 days in the first interview. Guys, we didn't have no time. We've been busy with immigration stuff.
The first interview and this interview, there's a big contrast between the two. Again,
correct.
The first interview, he seems excited that he's being interviewed.
This
interview, he seems distressed.
Acting. Is he worried about what the locals are thinking?
That's
and because remember, he's a YouTuber.
He already got called out, guys. He already got called out again, not by us, not
Filipinos.
by us.
Yeah, well,
way before we even covered the story.
Yeah,
he already got a barrage of people.
You guys should
like,
know.
"Hey, what's wrong with you? Why are you acting this way?
Filipinos.
You should be distraught. Why are you acting this way?"
Yes.
It's not from us. We didn't contact this guy, but he was defending himself, and Now he's acting distraught a few days after the incident.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, his response to some of the people is "Be glad that I don't know where you are" type of situation. Like he was going to, like something would be done or whatever. But he's young, so. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go down the comments, guys, and then
I'm trying to think. Yeah, the only other thing we have that we'll get to is to get to the Orange Kite group. So let's go through this, and then afterwards we'll go into the Orange Kite group story for those that want to stick around because we appreciate you guys hanging out. So
yeah. Sarah Tyson, hello, Heidi and George, hello,
thank you, Sarah,
roomies.
for the update on Elliot Eastman's Little Bride. Quite interesting.
Well, Grandpa, shout out from Brampton, Canada. We're expecting another snowstorm tomorrow. Yes, it is very cold up there right now.
Reminds me, I need some hot chocolate and donuts.
Right, Jose Rodriguez. Good morning, guys.
Hey.
Sperlin Edwards. Good morning. Checking in from La Plata.
Good morning. What are you doing?
Hey, Curtis, how you doing? Good morning, gang. Beautiful day in Zamboanga del Norte.
Good morning.
Now, for those of you who are wondering, now here's Curtis. Here's in Zamboanga del Norte, which is the same place as Eastman, but my point is, it's again depends on the area where you're in. The point
And I'm sure
is,
he's not flashy talking about.
well, not to
owning a
mention, I'm sure
$50,000
they're not
Starbucks
telling him
setup.
like, dude, you probably should get out of here.
It was a combination of things.
Right. I
I'm
mean,
sure you guys got to lay low,
well,
even in the city.
Zamboanga del Norte is big, but what I'm saying is, that's why I said doesn't mean that you're in New York. That
The guy was broadcasting. We've already said what Elliot did wrong. Curtis doesn't do that.
no,
There's a big
but
difference in
I'm sure
lifestyle.
he's also further north. I'm saying, remember, it goes by area. It doesn't necessarily mean that the state of Zamboanga del Norte, the whole state, is bad. Same thing as in Jersey and New York, like I said, or Florida. It doesn't mean that you're in some weird area in Miami.
Okay, but let's say he just lived 2 blocks away. The difference could have been him keeping his mouth quiet.
I understand
and not
that.
being a
That's
vlogger.
well,
And talking about how much he had and
no,
what he
that's
had, and
also another
showing
thing. Yeah.
all of his assets in the United States, driving around in a new car as a vlogger in the inside of his house. All of that was a total mistake.
Yeah, second wind. Good morning. Like a spot. Good Friday afternoon from California. Hey.
Good
Hey,
morning.
Kidos. Good morning. Spur what says Kulasi. Philip Macy says 50K is a lot to lose in one bad deal. Lesson learned. Pay daily when building a house in the Philippines. Oh, I see. You're talking about the kite group. Yes.
But I thought the guy said it was 20 million. Well, here's the thing. When he went through to see it and I turned on the what's it called and I listened to it several times, it said 20 million pesos.
Yeah, but he says dollars. Minute.
Yeah, the conversion is not that.
Um,
I have to take a look at what that is.
Is that what I'm
That's
saying?
probably 50,000. I'll have to take a look at the. I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, now they're showing him inside the hospital and everything. So there's all new footage of that.
Max, so much violence in the Philippines. I'm scared to go visit my girl in Cebu. Okay, first off, you said Cebu. Where in Cebu? If it's in Cebu City, I wouldn't worry about it. Because that's the thing. It's, again, it goes by specific areas. For example,
20 million divided by 58 is $300 and almost $45,000.
Now, kind of like here, there's some bad areas in Angeles City that you shouldn't go. But those are very what I'm saying is,
it's like the United States where things will
there's
happen. You could be in Brooklyn forever.
Side skirts. I even show Heidi. It's like, hey, you see that little street down there? Which honestly, you won't even notice. There's a street down there. That's exactly the point. That's why there's crime going down there, because it's a
Same
little,
as the,
it's a little tiny street that nobody uses. You know what I'm saying?
I still feel safe here. A lot of people still feel safe here, understand what the story is, and that's why we're covering this so heavy. That's why we covered so heavy on Elliot Eastman, is because he had made mistakes over and over and over again. And he continued to run this YouTube talking about, oh, I spent this on the house and I got this amount of money. And he was showing all of his assets and starting problems that when he was there. So you can't be a fire starter. You can't go off showing your assets. You can't go off, wearing gold watches and flashy. But then again, there's so many mixed YouTube channels that are like, oh, don't listen, just do whatever, be yourself.
Yeah.
And then you'll see people driving Lamborghinis and Makati. And they're like, oh, nothing ever happened to me. And it's like, guys, use your
Like
use
us.
your noodle.
Me and Heidi went to Mexico. Nothing happened to us, and we went to Tamaulipas, which is extremely violent in Mexico. But
Nothing ever happened.
we're fine. But that we're not gonna say,
We're not gonna show up.
Tamaulipas is safe. No, we never said that. We said me and Heidi went through there and we're lucky. But what I'm saying is, here's the thing: how YouTube works, guys. It broadcasts you where you're at. It doesn't matter what country you're from. It will broadcast you on your neighbors. You get it? Now, here's the problem. I'm not victim blaming anybody. We're not victim blaming anybody. But if you're claiming, this guy, well, we loaned him, 10,000
Got an
pesos
example
the
for
other
you.
day, 25,000 pesos the other day, blah, blah.
He was talking about being a
Guess
loan
what?
shark.
Your freaking neighbors.
And so what's wrong with this American? Where was his mistake? He goes to a resort, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, he just showed up. How can you guys say that he shouldn't have withdrew money? And I'm like, dude, he had already been at that resort. Why would you check in? And even if it was his first day, your check-in is at 2:00. Why didn't you get money then? So it doesn't matter. The guy was carrying around, as I'm to understand, he was at the ATM and the car. It was all within a period of time. Again, it would take all day to sit down and listen to all the news articles. But the whole point is that he had 50,000 pesos on him, which is a lot of money. And who knew it even more was his Filipino.
Well, okay.
What?
Yeah.
You go ahead. Go on, I'm done. What's wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong with me.
Okay, I just stopped. So what's wrong?
Nothing. That was. We're talking about things not to do. Just real quick, for those of you who are trying to figure out what's going on.
I know what's going on. I don't know.
Now, what Heidi's talking about, okay?
You don't have to wrap up what I say.
Yeah, I'm not trying to wrap up everything. You have to remember I'm talking about one thing and then you add in something else. And that's why I paused.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that's kind of confusing to a lot of people. You can't assume that they know what you're thinking.
Okay, so what part of that would you like to explain? Go ahead. What part from where?
Well, what I'm saying, Heidi, I'm talking about Eastman and you shift over to Manek.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
I understand that, but most people can't keep up with the gear change. You have to give a segue. Now, as far as Maneki's concerned, there's always an ATM, usually at the hotel. It's not necessarily at the hotel, but it's nearby the hotel.
According to some articles, it was, but then it said that they were inside their car leaving or in a car. Why, if that was at the hotel?
I didn't say it was at the hotel. I'm saying usually there is an ATM at the hotel. And if they have to go to a bar, there's usually...
Why don't you try reading an article?
There's usually... Article has nothing to do with it.
I'll just pull the article.
Okay. that's not my issue. My issue is, again, we were talking about Eastman. Next thing you know, we're talking about Manek.
That's your personal problem.
What? Because I was in the middle of talking? Anyway.
Anyways, you just had to say that.
There's violence all over the world. That's what second Win says. Ephemer, right? Feel it, right? Ephemer.
Yeah, because a lot of these are being covered. The few local newspapers, by the time it got to a bunch of these small newspapers, it kind of went all over the place.
Curtis says visited Davao, felt really safe. A lot of
Manek was on vacation with his legally married spouse, which is weird because they said he was on vacation with his legally married spouse, an LGBTQ member, Gerald Caesar Torino. It's almost like they're just saying, okay, well, he's registered. The other guy's not. They were about to check in at the resort at 9:45 at night. Yes. They were checking in.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's fine. I mean, you can check in late.
Usually it's early on.
I didn't know that they were checking in. I knew they were
headed
there.
This is the Mindanao newspapers. That's what I mean. They're all saying
they
different
were
stuff.
Headed there. What I'm saying is that, remember, there's different news sources. So,
which is not.
And I'm just saying what I knew.
Which is not normal. Usually they give you a hard time anywhere, including the Philippines, if you check in before, after, or a certain time. Anything at 6, 7 o'clock at night, they give you a room away. Like the resort we went to, if we'd have showed out at a certain time, they'd have gave our room away, and they said that.
Yeah, it depends on. Yeah.
Well, I'm just letting you know it's.
Even in the U.S., I believe some do give out your reservation.
It said a concern. That's what I said, whether it's here or there. It just, for me, it was strange. It said a concerned citizen called around 9:45 because at 9:30 the gentleman was already shot.
Wait. A concerned citizen?
That's what it said.
He didn't call?
It was not him. It said somebody else called.
I mean, I guess. I mean, if you're in shock, I mean.
The couple had just withdrawn. Okay, so they did not do it at the resort.
That's what I said.
They withdrew it before heading. So the only person that knew he had that much money in there was.
That's what I said. Usually there's an ATM at a resort, or even if you go as far as a bar.
Well, so then that doesn't make any sense to me. Upon arriving,
people who go clubbing know this.
Upon the arrival, while Manek was retrieving their belongings from the back of the vehicle, the suspect appeared suddenly and injured him first, and I'm not going to say the word, before grabbing his bag. So in other words, why would someone do that in advance at a resort, and who was to say he even had money?
Right. That there's a lot of questions because it's kind of odd that somebody just pulls right in and then they jump you and then
yeah. Because usually
and assume you have money. Nobody does that.
They injured him first before grabbing.
Correct.
But here's the thing. It's what I said before. Torino's bag. So it was the Filipino spouse holding the money on himself. The 50,000 was on the Filipino. It said before he grabbed Torino's. So he injured his American husband first.
Not to mention,
unalived him, and then grabbed a bag off a Filipino.
Well, that's another thing. Normally, okay, guys, normally, and anybody who's had experiences with said bad stuff, okay, will agree with me, whether you're a cop or not. normally people don't pull the trigger unless you actually give them
Husband
resistance.
was left unharmed. Correct. So the American was unalive for no reason.
Correct. That's not a normal thing because honestly, even the most hard up criminals don't want to pull the trigger. They really don't. They really don't.
Yeah. And the weapon of choice to me was
Most of the time, if you're actually have been in this situation, most of the time they shake when they have that weapon in their hand because they really don't want to. It's like they're forced to do it and they really don't want to do it. You guys may or may not believe me on this one, but trust me, most criminals don't want to do what they do.
It says here 2 days ago, when we parked, we assumed someone from the hotel would come and assist us, like at most of our hotels. Okay, so it was a planned booking, because if they were just randomly driving by like you would on like Route 66 and just dropped into a cheap hotel. So it says here it's like they were expecting it. 9:30 at night, which still indicates they pulled the money out at night. My partner, who was the driver, okay, the Filipino was not driving, the American was, got out first and was taking care of our bags. As I opened up the door and was collecting the trash in the car, I saw a man standing nearby. He greeted and says, "Hey, good evening, sir," but I was startled because he was wearing a mask. Sensing the danger, he immediately warned his partner to stop, so he told him. Torino thought that Manek, known for his friendliness, may have mistaken him for a hotel staff or security personnel. Then suddenly there was the shot. I closed my eyes and crouched down. I felt someone pull on my bag. Within seconds, I saw the motorcycle sped away. So yeah, there's the motorcycle. So they were in the car. The other guy was in the motorcycle. Yeah, so it said they had been together for 5 years. So they had been together for a while. And legally only married for 1 year and 2 months. Yeah, because it's been almost a year since they filed. So they must have filed right away. As soon as they got married, they filed. So might have been LDR.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right to me. Again,
Yeah, 5 years.
could have been LDR.
To the people of Trento, we must prioritize our safety, especially when withdrawing and carrying large amounts of cash. Nowadays, even small amounts of money can drive people to commit crimes. That's what the Filipino said.
Well, that's normal.
Yeah, so things he knew and lived in the area, it was kind of odd, isn't it?
Well, actually, some of you actually are saying stuff right now.
So do not be complacent.
Yeah. I mean,
interesting.
It's just weird. I mean, again, normally, most of the time, they. Point being, and again,
It said somebody said American Tourist 56 was mugged.
unless somebody's really like off their
Wow.
gourd, like their brains are really heavily influenced by some substance, people do not pull the trigger unless there's resistance. Which, from what I've heard, there hasn't been.
Hey, Bobby G is in the house.
Yeah.
Looks like Scott's in the house.
Yeah. Curtis visited Davao. Really felt safe. A lot of arms on the street. People were using them early morning and late at night. Yeah, guys, remember when you say Davao, Curtis, I assume you're talking about Davao City.
And what does he mean by arms on the street?
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I said make sure that you say if it's city, mention city. Because again, Davao and Davao City are two different things. Is Davao City safe? Yes. Is Davao safe in certain areas?
It's still the Philippines. It's still anywhere in the world. I would use your common sense like you would. Like
Well,
we wouldn't
what I'm
go
saying
and withdraw a
is-
bunch of money at nighttime.
Is be careful on what you say. What I'm saying, babe, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about like Like for instance, Davao felt really safe. Are you talking about city or the province?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that could be misconstrued. Hey Scott and Isa's world. Hello everyone. Joseph Relford. What's up, Slick Rick and Heidi?
Hey, what's going on?
Curtis says old timer, Bartleson James wine cooler. There you go.
Right. I don't even know if they still make them.
Max says, yeah, violence all over the world, but try to be white hot guy in the Philippines. You're a target. Well,
I wouldn't call
in
him
any country, you're a target. You know what I'm saying?
a white guy, a white hot guy. I don't know about that. He was a 56-year-old overweight construction worker or supervisor. I don't know if it was. One of the articles said it was construction. I could be wrong, but there's been so many articles. But he just seemed to be an average American.
Ian says, good morning to you both. It's absolutely peeing down here in Palau.
Good morning.
Joseph Rover says, someone has to have a special kind of someone to spend that kind of money. Second one, flowers, they die, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
That's insane.
Scott Nice's World says, for Valentine's, you should get a hula hoop. Hilarious.
Get a pizza and a
Yeah.
bottle of go get some, what do you call that? What's the wine that we always joke about?
You talking about Mad Dog Twin?
But you're not gonna get Mad Dog here.
No, you're not. Ted Dingians, I'm a hula hoop fan. There
They
you
have
go.
the other wine that we talked about, the other cheap wine. Never mind, you're thinking too long. Taking too long?
Well, I mean, you said wine. I mean, that could be anything.
You need more caffeine.
No, babe, I mean, it could be SoCo. It could be what? I mean, it could be Verde Spumante. It could be. I mean,
No, the answer is no. You're not listening. I can't think of it. I'll have to look it up myself.
right. Again, I can't read your mind. I don't know. Anyway.
Anyways, whatever.
Joseph Robert says 3 months after my mother died, my father was bringing women home and taking them to their bedroom. He was in his 60s.
Oh wow. What's going?
What do you mean? I have to process what I just read.
Gotcha.
Anyway, Max says that's what's Carisha do crying on Livestream for Eastman.
Yeah.
Moving on is good for some souls. Okay, now keep in mind again, there's something moving on and distracting yourself are two different things. It doesn't mean, okay, that, for example, that's why I was processing. Joseph Relford says, 3 months after my mother died, my father was bringing women home and taking them to his bedroom. He was in his 60s. That's called a distraction. He's not moving on. In fact, it's the opposite of moving on. It doesn't mean that you're betting somebody that you've moved on. No. You're trying to bury your sorrows and trying to forget them. And that's why you're doing what you're doing. That's unhealthy. Of It's an unhealthy way of dealing with the pain. Does that make any sense, guys? And that's what I was trying to think of and process. And like I said, like Sperlin says, moving on is good for some souls. That's not moving on, guys. That's not moving on. Moving on means you're actually over it, and then you're serious. You're gonna go and date, and the next date is like you're actually looking for somebody, not looking to bed somebody. Two different things. Um, Big Dave, does she have a new man yet? No. Not that we're aware of on both of them. Neither. I said not that we're aware of. Never mind. Says it's been 2 years since my husband passed away. Still feels like yesterday. It's hard to believe. Still sucks until today. Correct. Yeah, of course, of course.
I'm mourning George now.
Like a spot says, the sucky part about Carisha's circumstance is that she still has no closure. Right. That
Mhm.
that's hard. I mean, it, she is in a rough spot. I understand that a lot of people would want to see a body before they move on, and no, that's really rough for her. Yes, yes. MB, hello, Philippine Squad. Hey, MB, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Max says she's not as bad as we thought. She's genuinely in depression. Max is talking about Carisha. Yes.
Well, you would have to go take a look at the rest of her Facebook. I would beg to differ. She's kind of, in my opinion, bipolar on that situation. So she says that she smiles in front of people, but her videos are showing different.
Okay,
And
now
her photos.
right. Now, for those of you, again, I'm not picking at you, Lou. I was just gonna say something before I read your statement. Now, me and Heidi are actually very well versed in the Muslim religion. Have you guys ever read the Quran? I have. Have you guys? Can you guys actually recite the Shahada? I can, and Heidi can. Have you guys sat down and spoke with an imam? I have, and I'm sure Heidi has, right? I mean, actually, I never asked her, but I'm sure she has. Have you guys been to the masjid or mosque? I have several times, and I'm sure Heidi has too, right?
No.
Oh no, you haven't. Okay, I have. Point
Okay.
being is unless you've actually done any of that, you have no right to tell me or Heidi
This
what
goes
the
out to
Muslim
Rose.
what Muslim religion has anything to do with anything.
Yeah, somebody left comments, different
Correct.
comments, which looks like they were just trolling. And their statement, what was
Well, not necessarily trolling.
They
My
said
issue-
multiple things that
My
was
issue
trolling.
is if you are Muslim and you are arguing with me, then that means I will call you out right now. You are not a true Muslim, sir or man, because true Muslims do not do that.
They don't do social media. They don't do
They do not do
television.
social
They
media.
don't do any of it.
And they always wear a hijab. Okay,
And so she is not.
they don't do TikTok.
She might be born
in
into a Muslim
fact,
family.
it is illegal to do it in the Middle East, which is our Muslim area. If they catch you, they will literally track you down, go to your house, and arrest you. I am not making things up, sir or ma'am. Anyway, no. I'm just pointing that out because again, I'm just letting you guys know I'm actually well versed with Muslim religion and or Islam. Heidi too. And Lou says again, Lou, I don't know what your religion is, but Lou says, George, when I lived with my Filipino girl and her Muslim barangay, she never wore her hijab.
Which she's supposed to.
She's supposed
she's
to.
Muslim, yeah.
The Muslim religion is more of an appearance in the Philippines, which has nothing to do with the Philippines. That just means they're not true Muslim.
Correct. So basically,
in my
to me,
opinion.
they loosely use the word Muslim because that big man in the
Correct.
Philippines was saying the same thing. His first wife, which by the way, he already admitted recently he has multiple wives. So he tried to leave. I don't even want to get into
Right.
that
Now,
part.
I'm not picking.
But
Yeah.
his wife did not have a hijab on and she was dressed different. And he said something like they didn't have to. Well, that's not true. They're supposed to. It is part of the religion.
Right.
So that means
It is
he was
part of the
loosely
religion.
calling themselves Muslims. So.
Now, in all fairness, I'm not attacking Islam. I'm talking about the ones that don't actually practice it. In all fairness, be aware that there's the complete opposite, which in my case, or most of your cases, there's something that we call NPCs. No, I'm not talking about non-player characters. I'm talking about non-practicing Christians.
Yeah, you can call yourself Christian. Same
You
thing.
can call
Same
yourself
difference.
Christian, but if you're not behaving like a Christian person does, then again, I will call you out. You are not a Christian, sir. You call yourself that, but you're not.
Okay.
Right.
No,
anyway,
the explanation of.
No, I understand that, but does need to be because again, there's a lot of Anyway,
I wouldn't.
misconceptions.
Yeah.
And again, Lou, it wasn't against you. I'm just, you know. Joseph says, young married women, you just can't turn on that loving switch off. Aw, that's true. Max says LGBTQ in Mindanao. What could go wrong? Well, I don't think that's the reason why. I think it's something
Well,
else.
that's just it. I've heard a lot of people state that, and I'm sorry if it offends people. There's a lot of gays in Mindanao. Matter of fact, you can almost expect more over there than probably any other place. It's just the way it is. Sometimes it seems like the more religion that's mixed up, the more there is. You know that's true.
No, I'm not arguing with it.
So the situation goes is that's the weird thing. It's 2025 and they have like contests and stuff. As a matter of fact, I just seen a post in Angeles City that was showing a contest winner to an event. And did nobody notice at the bottom that it was a pride calendar? They were trying to hawk the pride calendar on Angeles City Expat.
Did you say October?
Whole point is all the guys are like yay, yay, and yay, and I don't think they even realize at the very bottom it said Pride Calendar in small writing. But it's. But anyways, that's what it is. So there's no surprise to me whatsoever, and a lot of them are like, oh yeah, people are probably against them down there based on that, but I don't think that.
No. That's not.
If this would have been
why.
1990, then I might have said, hey, that's, then you're pushing your luck. They've been way more accepting now, unless they were accepting 100% back then.
Not us, no.
No, it's so open here, babe. I've never seen so much openness in my whole entire life
It's
as I have
normal.
in Asia.
It's normal.
In
really.
the Philippines, especially.
As American in the
Lady
world,
boys,
world says.
the Philippines really seems to be full.
I live in Mindanao. It is accepted. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's.
Jose says I heard a lady got stabbed in the neck in broad daylight in Butuan just recently.
Really? You're monitoring enough to leave blanks and then you. Oh.
What do you mean?
Okay. I wait for your going through this to make sure before you put something up, and then you put that up.
What's wrong with that?
Sure, put it back up. What's wrong with that?
Anyway. Tim's Rogers, morning from Columbus, Ohio. Hey, Tim. Hey, Bobby G. Good morning, y'all. Hell, I've been to hotels and paid at checkout if you're staying more than one night, and if they booked online, usually pay online, so really no need for that much cash that late. Period. No, it's
I
true.
don't know why they would pick up that much
It's true.
cash.
That's
a lot of money, especially.
That's weird. Yes, I agree. That's very weird. I
mean, we've been known to pick up X amount of money, 30,000 pesos, but we spend it all in the same day. Like we pay our rent, we pay electricity, we go shopping. That money doesn't even come into the house. It's usually spent up within a very short period of time. So, but we first we go home and pay the big bills. We drop it on Gcash. It just never hangs around long enough to broad daylight.
No. It's kind of weird. As Bobby G says, I swear by it. I lived half a year in northern Mindanao area. Never once felt unsafe. Now my wife wouldn't let me travel south. Keyword travel south. Although I guess that's central Mindanao. Well, that's northern Mindanao still, but depends on northern Mindanao. Wouldn't let me travel south a day's drive though, but people just need to do research on places. Yes. Bobby G says on his vlog, he did say he was putting pump bottles from the front to the back of the car. I bet they knew exactly how much he was getting and why only. Now, this is. Again, I'm not the only one who thinks this. A lot of people do question this, yes. Why only, you know, basically hit the
Oh, he'll be
foreigner,
questioned.
not the
There's
partner also who was there.
This isn't going away overnight
No,
because
no.
too many, a lot of people, Heidi and George is judging and look at all the comments. Like, dude, you think we're the only ones that see this? That's the whole reason it's a good conversation, in my opinion, because something's not right. You think I would have covered this story, more than once, or if it didn't have anything? If it was just simply shut and closed case, it's not newsworthy. We're going to cover what's newsworthy just because it's not an American. You realize how many things that happen here with different foreigners? There's something not right in this whole situation. So, newsworthy.
Yeah, Lou says, seems like the Gerald guy paid all the money, life insurance and assets.
Probably that was said. Because minimally he had it probably on his job. And his name is probably, it's very easy to do that type of paperwork. Like literally there's one piece of paper, and I've added spouses for me at other jobs, and they just have me quickly like put the name on there and their birth date, and then people can get paid based on that. I'm sure they didn't even need an attorney to have him added to his job's insurance. And no, I'm sure there'll be something. So, but who knows what it was about?
Bobby says, yes, I fully agree. It's all suspicious pulling that amount of money out that time, then the partner having zero emotions, correct. And his own story changed twice. See, that's the thing. I guess I'm not the only one who saw this too, on his own post on Little Details. That's why I was like, well, because I could have sworn I heard something else too from him, his words, and now it's different. But
There's many
I-
different articles.
well, no. I'm saying what he said, but I'm not gonna quote him because he is speaking a different language. It's not my language, but I could have sworn he said other stuff. So I guess I'm not the only one that kind of heard something else too. Sprung Edward says, when I was living in Iloilo, it was rent time. I had Ali meet us right at the mall. I never had to hold on to it too long. There you go. Oh, there you go, Ted. Boone's Farm.
Boone's Farm.
Boone's Farm. Boone's
Steve,
Farm.
thank you, Ted.
Wine cooler. Not well, I guess it's
That is
wine.
wine. That's not a wine cooler. Boone's Farm. You always talk about Boone's Farm. You can't rely on my memory.
It is wine. Yeah, it is.
I got brain damage and lupus
Yeah.
brain and menopause
Black Grandpa
brain
says, "Come
and
on, Heidi."
American
And George
brain.
played nice. Boone's Farm. He said
I
it
am
twice.
playing nice. You can trust and believe that today after the last 48 hours. I'm playing nice. I'm trying to
Lou
get through the week.
says, what Gerald and his Americano husband were going by with that, right? Drug deal gone bad, right? It's kind of weird that it's like late at night. Yeah.
See, when I look at it, I understand it's 800. The deal is 50,000 is what rings through with me. When you hear 50,000 pesos, who walks around with a month's salary in the United States? Picks it up from an ATM and just, I don't,
Interesting.
what's that?
That. Hey, Thomas, how you doing? Love the look, George. Zemas for the 2. There you go. See, Thomas Bill like Zemas too. Yeah.
Zima.
Gary Johnson says, "Good morning, George and Heidi. Just joining now. George looks different, but am I missing something?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Ricky character. For those that don't know, this Ricky character of his has been around for years now. And it started out with them appearing here and there, and then he does videos with it. It's just a character. That's why we call it Philippine Antics. And of course, we're dual broadcasting on our second channel, Expat Talk Philippines also. So as we said, that this one will continue the live streams. And whatever's done in the live streams can vary from expat drama to expat help to Ricky here disappearing or going and making a bank trip or cleaning the stairs later on and something happening at 3:00 and see if the deep freezer really holds your hat. But and the other channel will start holding the other videos. Expat help actual videos, pet channel. As a matter of fact, the next few days I'll be dropping footage of where George is doing trike rides, and he's gone places and stopped at events. We got a pizza one. So we have 3 of them lined up to come out. And then, of course, you're still saying you have a whole stream stuff of Ricky stuff. Are you working on another video? That's a question.
No, I wasn't going to say that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, it's hard to be humble.
Megan says that's murder. That murder is north of me.
There you are again.
Okay. Mm.
You do know those are key words, right?
Oh.
Okay. So,
Okay. Oh,
so why is it why do you even bother even going through that and saying that's what you're doing is if you're going to do it anyways? So if you don't want to mute, that's fine with me. Because I don't get it. You're saying you're going through to, you might as well just put them all up.
Anyway.
Anyway, nothing.
Yeah.
You say anyways just to be saying anyways.
Anyway.
Okay, well then anyways this. Bite me.
Yeah, lots to ash through. Most small towns are ghost towns after dark, so the fact that they were out and the robbers were near a resort in itself is odd. Yes, I agree. It's kind of weird. Yes. But most people get money in daytime while with the guards on. Yes, it's
And here's the thing. He said they thought it was a guard, but if his face was all wrapped up, that would have been strange. I could see a trike rider on the side of the road that might have it or why he's riding, but just randomly.
okay.
Okay, that was 2 different stories.
No,
One
no,
said
no.
he had a
Okay,
helmet.
okay.
The other said his face was
Right.
wrapped. So which was it?
So where did you hear it was somebody pretending to be a security guard?
And it was all in different papers.
Okay. So I'm not the only one who heard that.
Correct. I can go through some articles now.
But from what his last interview that you played, he didn't say that.
What did he say?
He didn't. What I'm saying is usually when somebody's pretending to be something, for example, the Eastman thing, when they said they were pretending to be cops, it's consistent. They were pretending to be cops. They're pretending to be cops. They're pretending to be cops. But the guard thing is not consistent, and that's my issue. One of my issues too. Like, wait a minute, hold up. You said they were pretending to be guards, and then all of a sudden, that detail disappeared. That's something that sticks with you. That you'll always play. It's like when you
man wearing a mask is what Torino said. But
which
then they
is
said it was a helmet in
correct.
another article.
Correct. See.
And then people said we were inconsistent. We just covering this.
No. That's the thing. It's not us.
As I want to, you ask much.
Right. Well, that's my point. It's, for example, wearing a helmet. Okay. Again, guys. Again, it's not me. It's these different stories. But the inconsistency, honestly, is not the interviews that I've heard.
Yeah, here's Brigada. I think that
they're
was one
they're
of them
two
that he
different
called
stories
out.
from what I've heard from the interviews. And I'm not talking about the news sources. The news sources, yes, I get it. A lot of news reporters get the stories wrong.
Yeah, like here, this is Brigada while retrieving something from the rear. They said that he was getting the luggage or something, but here it says he was just retrieving something.
Right. So what I'm saying is, but like
it says here in an exclusive interview with Torrento, he stated that the suspect passed right beside him before the attack.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Right. Either way, again, if you guys ever been to a traumatic experience, usually it plays like a record player nonstop, like
he
a
didn't
broken
look
record.
dramatic. He just looked like he was.
Well, what I'm saying is, you will not miss the details for the most part that are key.
Well, the
I'm talking key
newspapers can be
details.
inconsistent
No,
too,
no, 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 no.
George.
I'm talking about him. I'm not talking about newspaper. I just said that. I'm talking about him.
You're confusing me.
I'm not confusing you. You just played a new interview. And that's a different story. The details are different, which again is fine. But what I'm saying is, when you're traumatized, it plays in your head nonstop. And the key details, keyword, key details, aka if he's wearing a helmet, that's key detail. You'll always repeat, he was wearing a helmet. He's wearing a helmet. He's wearing a helmet.
Correct. When something's
He's
not
wearing a
right.
police uniform. He's pretending to be a cop. It's kind of like Eastman thing. You notice that everybody, all the witnesses say they were pretending to be cops. They were pretending to be cops. They're pretending to be cops because it's on the record player. But wait a minute. I could have sworn you said that he was pretending to be a guard and he's wearing a long gun. The word he uses, long gun, which means a rifle, I guess.
You're really emphasizing on that. I hear you.
Because it is.
I've been trying to emphasize. I believe the newspapers are getting it wrong, but it could be
Again, Heidi, I'm not talking about the newspapers. I'm talking about the interview.
No, I got that. Okay.
And I even quoted him,
So then
except
it's both.
except I translated it. He says, "What?" Anyway.
Anyways.
Ted Engans, yes, Boone's Farm, top quality wine. There you go. Bobby G says he posted the vlog at 3 a.m. saying, "Am I supposed to cry? So I'm not suspect." Yes, he did say this. Yes. Like a question, it was very very odd. Yes,
It wasn't
very weird.
I don't think it was the first day. So there are two different things going on. I don't know what time that he posted the suspect thing. So that was at 3 a.m. Yeah, he's been posting a bunch of weird stuff, which he's got to realize that they're going to check all this stuff. They'll be on his social media to see he's posting different things.
Big Dave says, I remember drinking Zima back in the 90s. I used to like Zima. Yes, when it existed, yes.
That'd probably been the only way Zima.
Oh, dang. Bobby G says Zima and Jolly Ranchers. There you go. Right, I forgot about that.
Yeah. What are you doing, Cookie? What was that about? One of the big cats just went by and the puppy's sleeping in her bed in the corner down here. She walked up and she sniffed on her and looked at her and then walked away. What are you doing, Cookie Bear?
Yeah, 20 minutes spent. Man, I hate to get used to using the words unalive and other keywords instead of speaking normally. I understand YouTube does it, but I know for certain topics for sure. No, the common one too is deleted, yes.
Yeah, it's based on AdSense, and then even if you're not being paid AdSense, your channel could still be jerked after a while. So we're not going that direction, and we don't have sponsorship. So yeah.
Yeah, Bobby G says it was around that time when he posted it, 3 a.m. Yes, the details will not change so much right after the event. Literally change details multiple times in just a few hours of the incident. That is what I also find weird. Like you say, burn into the brain still. Right. Again, like a broken record. It will keep on running. Yeah.
Okay, so the next and last thing we're going to cover here, wrapping up our week, is I know we covered this on another time, and that would be Paul Old Dog brought in another interviewee in regards to the Orange Kite group. And it looks like it's 35 people that lost money in their construction to this gentleman. It's a expat that, as I'm to understand, they said where he was from, South African, Nigerian, somewhere. I could be off on this, but all as I'm to understand is I thought they said it was somewhere in South Africa is where the guy's from, and that workers, vendors, and 35 people lost their money to this guy. So, and he's been doing it. And here's the crazy thing: there's even a vlogger, a Polish husband in Filipina that has almost like 500,000 viewers, and they were building a resort slash apartment, whatever, and they lost a crap load of money to him also. So, and then it was what, 500,000 pesos to a what do they call it? I keep wanting to say a warehouse, hardware store, like for supplies and
Oh,
stuff. Why
that
they?
thing.
So everybody lost money from the Orange Kite Group, and at first Paul talked about them. What over a year ago, and then he stopped, and then the construction drug on, and there was problems, and then he slowly covered it. And then he was saying today that his YouTube channel and him doing the build was supposed to get him a discount. And it's something that I would have been checking into. So the guy goes on, be sure to check out Paul's channel on this recent deal if you guys are interested in this, because we've covered it. But I'm just trying to figure that just talking to a man would not have gotten me to hand over, like this one looks like he paid up front. And yes, 20 million turns out to be over 300,000 US dollars up front to build a house. Usually, like a lot of these guys pay in sections, like payments, like they'll make the payments. And then they took him to one of the sites, and he was real helpful and showing up and real
Charismatic.
yeah, and that he was like yeah, that's what they do when they're swindling and stuff. And so they lost a lot of money, and this has been covered by a half a dozen or so vloggers in regards to this, but I didn't know it was 35 people. So in that area, that's a lot. And nobody's seen if Paul's been going on for a year. How long have the others have been? Hey, Cookie. She's up on the counter.
Yeah. Now I'm going with the what's the sentence I was looking for? One for the road theory. Okay. What are you talking about, George?
Yes, what are you talking about?
20-minute movies. Did he escape the country, or is he still in the Philippines? I'm gonna go with the one for the road theory. And what's that? Normally, scammers, they'll always do one for the road. What I'm saying is, my personal opinion, he's gone. But the only way you'll really know is if he swindled somebody this week, there's still a chance he's still here. But if he swindled somebody, a person 2 weeks ago, he's gone. That was his one for the road. Get it? He's gonna hit somebody one last time just because, and then leave the country. Head back to wherever he came from or whatever. It's most scammers do that. You know, it's common sense, guys. I mean, they're not gonna hang out. It's only a matter of time they're gonna get figured out. Or he doesn't necessarily must have left the country. He could have just went somewhere else, like go to Angel City for all we know. You know what I'm saying? But probably not, only because it's high expat. I mean, Paul's well known to a lot of people. So what I'm saying is he'll probably leave the country, knowing that because of Paul is a big YouTuber and a lot of expats watch Paul, that kind of deal. So he's probably gone. My theory.
Oh, there's more people that have been that. Like I said, the other girl has 500,000. She's been after him for a while. Paul would have no.
Well, what I'm saying is he'll probably avoid Angel City, only because the higher.
Yeah, so this has been ongoing and stuff. Yeah, he's probably already left. Some people said he didn't. That was another consensus, that he was still around
No, it's possible he's still around, but like I said,
because he was already being looked out from
Yeah.
the NBI, so they would have seen him on the way out. He wouldn't have got an exit clearance. So.
well, the reason why what I'm saying is it's Tita George says their life insurance on the husband. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I speculate. I would think there would be possibly. Usually, a lot of the jobs offer it.
There probably is, yes. Probably. Keyword probably. We don't know. But like Heidi said, normally most jobs,
Almost every job
almost
I had
always,
offered, yeah,
especially
I
if
had my
he's in
husband
construction.
insured. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he may not be an actual construction worker, but even if he was a foreman or
I believe that one of the articles
right,
stated that
by
he was
default,
a
usually
construction
there is
supervisor.
insurance already placed. Yeah, in place.
Tito.
Yeah. Bobby G says, will the Philippines let him leave if 35? If it's an actual case, no. Like Heidi says, if NBI is looking for him, then no.
Right.
20 minutes says Georgian's disguises are perfect for one for the road. If you don't show up on any more lives, one can assume. There you go.
Do you remember that name?
What? Tito George's Travel says new Nordic group in Pattaya, Thailand, which may be associated with the Orange Kite group. Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it could be that he moved on over there.
New Nordic group. Probably need to save that just in case. New Nordic group. Thank you for letting us know.
A real estate development company that creates family-friendly holiday villages in Asia. It says who owns it, who's the founder and chairman. So what makes you think they're linked? Because it says it's Kurt Vindum. He's the founder and chairman and owner of the company. So that's not the name of the guy, unless he's part of the Orange Kite Group.
Yeah.
Yeah, these names here, it says principal owner is Carl Christian Bergman Jensen. He's got lots of other names. Yeah, I don't know.
Patriot for Life says no more room in Philippine jails. All are overcrowded. No, they are. They are. I forgot what country it is where it's standing only. Is it Malaysia?
Here in the Philippines, a lot of them are standing. Some of them are standing, and then some of them are laying
Well,
down
there's
sleeping.
they take shifts, yeah, because there's not enough room.
Yeah, that's here
There's
too.
not enough room for them to sleep, so some of them just stand while the others sleep, and then they take turns to sleep. Yes. Me. Hey guys. Hey me. How you doing? Oh, I'm trying to see the thumbnail.
It is the bull in New York.
Oh, the brass bull. Okay,
Yeah.
I see it. Yes. Yes. Yeah. No. Again. Well, we don't know what the background is as far as Manek and what I'm saying, the surviving member, as far as the insurances. But in my opinion, he's probably covered again, which is a good thing or bad thing, depends on how you look at it. And also, we don't know his financials. I'm talking about like if he's. I mean, you can be married to somebody but be independent, if that makes any sense. Like, can he survive without the expat? We don't know. Um, like Heidi says, that he does lechon, but we don't know if it's his business or he just works for somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's possible he could just be working for somebody. I mean, I mean, I've met a lot of Filipinos in the U.S. So what I'm saying is, could I have worked for a Filipino? Yeah, maybe.
Well, he went to chef school or something. It showed like where he went through the full culinary schooling and everything, and showed photos recently too. So.
Right. So again, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? So now,
See, here's one from a news. NDTV World says the armed suspect wearing a helmet and a mask jumped out of the SUV and confronted him. See,
jumped out of an SUV, not a motorcycle.
someone the other day was like, "Oh, it was a motorcycle," and I'm like, "Yeah, we've been reading several."
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of inconsistency. But again, the ones I said earlier, I could have sworn he said them, not the news. But yeah, there's a lot of inconsistencies with the story. But then again, I've heard other things happening in the news that are incorrect either.
Well, it's the news, guys.
Yeah, again, because remember the problem with the news, we're not. It's kind of sad. I don't know about you guys. I was used to the news as being real. Now they put out the news to beat other people on social media. It doesn't matter. They don't fact check them anymore. You know what I'm saying? The fact checking part's gone. They just blurt it out on the news, whether it's incorrect or not, because they're trying to beat YouTube, they're trying to beat Facebook, they're trying to beat Instagram.
Well, it's like what they were saying. They're saying, I'm going to jump into the U.S. and stuff. They were saying some of those funds were going towards media and stuff. Did you hear about that? Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, I didn't.
They're saying that some of those, I don't know. I'm tired of it. I'm not going to get into that. It's kind of draining. They're just saying the news media was being paid under Biden. They were being paid out of some of that money, the grant monies and stuff.
No. I mean,
There's a lot going on with the media. They call it legacy media and a bunch of the others, but I'm not getting in that. So,
well, I mean, regardless of which side you're on, as far as Democrats and liberals, there's always some news bias, regardless.
Yeah.
Both parties.
yeah, because there's no.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. It's a busy day today. I got to get some more coffee and wake up. Yeah, it's almost 11 o'clock here. So we appreciate everybody dropping in. So we thought we'd wrap up what's going on and cover the widows and everything and different things going on. And yeah.
Thank you guys for being with us. And again, don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. Don't forget to hit the share button on your way out.
You still look tired. You're staying up all night. Surprised you did the live today. Our juice isn't here. We were up pretty late last night, so and he definitely only on a few hours sleep. So our energy is zapped right now, guys. But we appreciate everybody dropping in here, and thank you to our members that came in. Ted, thank you, and Bobby,
G. Scott,
Sarah, thank you
Sarah,
so much.
Thank you so much for being with us, guys.
Philip Maisie was in the
We appreciate your
house.
support.
Yeah, guys. Thank you, Smile Be Happy, and everybody that was in here. Thank you, guys, and we will see you guys soon and talk to you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Night, guys.